At Northwestern Mutual Southern Wisconsin, they believe better conversations lead to better outcomes. They focus on a holistic financial planning process that starts with where you are right now. They design solutions that fit your specific goals and priorities and that can evolve over time. Wherever you are today, no matter what's next, they'll develop customized recommendations designed to fit your life. Visit their website or call them today. Northwestern Mutual Southern Wisconsin, a better way to money. Looking for your next home on the east side of Madison? Welcome to the Canopy Collective, a vibrant community proudly managed by Focus. Choose from spacious 1, 2, or 3-bedroom apartments that offer comfort, style, and plenty of room for your pets to feel at home too. You'll enjoy world-class amenities like pools, dog parks, playgrounds, and more, everything you need right where you live. Focus is on a mission to elevate the resident experience in every community they serve. Discover the Focus difference and find your dream apartment today at rentwithfocus.com. Today on CityCast Madison. It's Tuesday, so we're bringing you another iteration of Must See Madison. And this time, we're branching out and hitting the road to must-see destinations in the broader region. Our producer, Jade Isiri Ramos, is hungry for taking day trips. So we sent her out to explore Dr. Evermor's Sculpture Park in Sauk County to learn if it's worth the hype and get recommendations for you on how to make the most of your visit. She's back home and ready to dish on her experience. It's Tuesday, May 20th. I'm Bianca Martin, and here's what Madison's talking about. Jade, welcome back to this side of the mic, girl. What do you have for us today?
Hi, Bianca. Well, summer is here, or, right around the corner if you really believe in solstice and summer starts on the 20th or 21st, whatever day solstice falls on this year. But the days are long. So the school year is about ready to wrap up for most schools, and I'm ready to go on a road trip. But road trips they can be tiring, they can be expensive, they can involve a lot of planning. So I'm choosing instead to go on a bunch of day trips this summer.
Yes.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, lots of good ones too.
Yeah. I'm looking for places that are like a 2-hour drive from Madison or less that I can drive to and back in just a single day.
I really love that, especially having grown up in Baraboo, which is like 45 minutes away. Like, all I'm thinking about, I'm like, this weekend, I want to go to Devil's Lake, or I want to go to Governor Dodge. Like, there are like great places really close to us. And I do know that a lot of people who aren't weirdos, or I guess I would consider myself a weirdo, like, I do like being in the car, but most people don't love endless hours. They're like, no, that's too far. So day trips for the win.
I mean, I also like being in the car. I think there's something about like the conversations that you have in a car with the person who you're driving with, right? Is like, you can talk about the most like random stuff when you're on a car, right? You get like really deep, you get like the lowdown on like all the drama. I love being in the car, but I don't necessarily love being in a car. I feel like more than one bathroom break. You know what I mean?
For sure. Also, like, sometimes you can see fun things on the road, like that you'll see with somebody else. Like, oh my God, what is that? Like, why is that person doing that?
And those memories only happen when you hit the road.
Yes.
So I just went on my first day trip of the summer, and I went somewhere that is very familiar to you. You mentioned that you're from Baraboo. So I went to Dr. Evermor's Sculpture Park in Sauk County.
Yes. Cue the thunder and lightning. Mad scientist vibes.
So I have to assume that you have been to the sculpture park.
Yes.
Tons of times.
I don't know if tons, but probably at least 3, because it's one of those things like you go on field trips for. So I went like as a kid, which is, a fantastic time to go to Evermor's park.
Any like memories that really stick out for you about your trips there?
Oh my God. Well, it's just like magic. It's pure magic. And, I was an art kid. I don't know if you were like hung out in the art room with the freaks and geeks, but I loved art. And there was a veil of mystery around it because it's like, who is this Dr. Evermor? So it sounds a little bit like Frankenstein, like something strange is happening, who has a sculpture garden full of like magical beings made out of metal. Like as a kid, it was like, this is peak. So I have very fond memories and feelings about the Dr. Evermor and his sculptures.
Yeah, so Dr. Evermor, also, government name Tom Every, he built the Forevertron, which is kind of the main anchor, I would say, of the sculpture garden. It's this huge 300-ton, like huge scrap metal sculpture that's like very futuristic, spaceship-esque creation. The idea is that it can take you into space and onto other planets. And the whole thing is made from pieces of machinery or tools that all come together in this like very elaborate, gorgeous, and rusty piece of art.
Which is part of the beauty. Like the rust color is sexy.
Yeah.
No, I'm just
I mean, kind of.
Yeah. It's alluring.
Yeah, there's something, I don't know if you know about me, Bianca, but I love a contrast. So I love like natural green in the park and then big rusty pieces of sculptures.
I mean, this is some of the most unique stuff you can see in Wisconsin. Like this is one of those things that would be on a list like, okay, you're on a road trip. You should stop here because this is this insane scrapyard that like there are magical, like starship sort of sculptures to hang out in.
Yeah, folks in Madison might be familiar with Dr. Evermor because he has a couple big pieces in town. You know what I'm talking about, Bianca, right?
100%. On our favorite road, Patterson. Or I don't know. I'm including you and us. I don't know if Patterson is your favorite road, but those huge
Patterson.
metal cranes on Patterson that they're towering over like right by the tracks, like right by the bike path.
Yeah, right by the bike path. And when you're crossing the bike path on Patterson, you'll see them. They're like 2.5 stories tall, maybe. Like if you go there, you can see sort of a mini version of what's happening at the sculpture garden.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Evermor made the Forevertron sculpture in the 1980s. He's also has a lot of installations in the House on the Rock, which is also talk about whimsical, talk about art.
Right. And for those who've been listening to the show for a couple of years, they might know that we went for CityCast Madison and took a trip and kind of ranked that in the past. It's insane.
Yeah, it's like a acid trip.
Yep. It's right along. It's like Dr. Evermor shall be there. And also they're up on the Children's Museum. If you're downtown, there are some Evermor birds hanging out, like kind of peeking over at the, what is it, like a little garden upstairs at the Children's Museum. And also like in people's yards. Like if you walk around, you're like, oh, it's a metal sculpture. Like some people have Evermor pieces.
And I am jealous of them.
Yeah, same.
I think that might be my next art piece for my house and for my yard is an Evermor sculpture. Unfortunately, Tom Every, or Dr. Evermor, passed away in 2020, but his sculptures certainly live on in Madison and certainly live on in Sauk County at the Dr. Evermor Sculpture Park.
Right. It's a really friggin' alive thing. And I just wanted to also shout out, like, kind of steampunk, like before steampunk became a thing. Like, it's very steampunk vibe. But yeah, I'm glad that it lives on and that you visited.
Yeah, I visited. Dr. Evermor's family is often found at the park, so you can see his art, but also his wife, Lady Eleanor, often hangs out and does paintings, and she has a little section there at the park that you can see some of her watercolors, and Twaya, their daughters, also often around the park.
It's a family affair.
A family affair.
Want to have some summer fun for a good cause? Loop the Lake is coming up on Saturday, June 14th, and it's not to be missed. Loop the Lake is a benefit for Clean Lakes Alliance, presented by Lake Ridge Bank. It's a go-at-your-own-pace bike ride around Lake Monona with a bunch of other lovely bikers who care about the greater Madison Lakes. And perk, kids 10 and under ride free with a paid adult. The bike ride includes food, food, beverages, and t-shirts, and lots of fun along the way. The ride starts and ends at Old Brick Park, and riders will travel 13 miles clockwise around Lake Monona. And you can choose to ride, walk, run, or paddle virtually from anywhere at any time. So, you in? Sign up for Loop the Lake today. Go to cleanlakesalliance.org/loop-the-lake. Use code BIKE10 to save 10%.
Are you still quoting 30-year-old movies? Have you said cool beans in the past 90 days? Do you think Discover isn't widely accepted? If this sounds like you, you're stuck in the past. Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. And every time you make a purchase with your card, you automatically earn cash back. Welcome to the now. It pays to Discover. Learn more at discover.com/credit card, based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
So, Jade, I mean, you not only went, but you also got some sound, right? Like you did some recordings on site.
I would not be a CityCast Madison producer without taking my headphones and a mic with me to any trip that I go on, right? Get a little tape. I took my husband Alex, so you'll hear him in this. You'll hear him in the tape, and you'll also hear a little bit from Lady Eleanor and Twaya.
Here I am at Evermor Sculpture Park.
Dr. Evermor.
Dr. Evermor, sorry. No disrespect to his position. One of the top 10 most interesting things in the U.S., according to the sign.
The mission of the Dr. Evermor Sculpture Park is to preserve the legacy of the artistic creations of Tom O. Every, a.k.a. Dr. Evermor, a well-regarded visionary metal sculpturist who has captured the interest of many with his imaginative expressions. Dr. Evermor's work represents something that lives in all of us, untapped creative energy. He has fashioned a world that evokes spiritual awakening in its humble observers. A visit to the park is more than an event to occupy an afternoon. It will remind you of your need to wonder and to believe in the unbelievable. There is a part of each of us that is not physical, that is not cut up in the mortal world's boundaries. Although a mortal cannot know if his consciousness survives when his body fails, we cannot seem to satiate our need to feel at peace with what we are and what our world is.
I'm going to be honest, folks. This is a real visual experience, which I don't know how I'm going to translate it to this audio medium, but there are some birds in a bird cage. They're fake birds. They're made of metal.
This section of the park is the Bird Band Orchestra. Imagine a yard full of human-sized or larger bird sculptures. While they don't sing like regular birds, these creatures do make music in their own right. Several have wind chimes adorning their bodies, and the sky's the limit when it comes to the musical spectacular these sculptures can create. All these birds have brass instruments.
Oh, yeah, they're all made of brass instruments, to be clear. They're not playing the brass instruments.
Right, they're made of brass instruments. And all around the park, nature is interacting with the art. It's a stark contrast to see wildlife coexist with these massive industrial pieces of art. In every corner, nature finds a way to persist and thrive.
Oh, look at the squirrel. It has a...
Baby squirrel in its mouth? No, it has a nut.
Oh, my God. I'm fairly certain there's baby squirrels in here. Oh, here comes with another one. There
Okay,
she comes.
yep.
She's on the fence. Okay, we gotta
pretend we're not watching her.
Act cool.
That's certainly one of her babies, right?
Yes. Good job, Mama. I wonder how many babies she has. Probably, I would say there's at least 4 in there. I took a photo.
Okay, so far, the bird section has been our favorite.
Mostly because of the squirrel situation.
At the center of the garden is the famed Forevertron. It's the second largest scrap metal sculpture in the world, and in my opinion, it looks like the most dangerous playground I have ever seen. One thing about looking at this is that I really want to climb it. You know what I mean? Like, I want to go up that spiral staircase and look out from up there.
Yeah. It looks very climbable. So I can see why they have to tell you do not climb, because you want to be up to date on your tetanus shot before you come here.
At Dr. Evermor Sculpture Park, there's an opportunity to buy some small art pieces for yourself. At the gazebo selling art, we met Lady Eleanor, And of course, we told her about our squirrel encounter.
That's a treat beyond.
All these years you've never seen this.
That was beautiful.
I know.
It's really cool.
You made my whole day.
Good, I'm glad.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was too beautiful.
I know. I was sitting there watching. I was like, okay, here she comes with another one.
Yeah, I think we saw 2 babies get put in while we were over there. Yeah.
You're wonderful, too, for doing that.
Dr. Evermor and Lady Eleanor's daughter, Twaya, was also at the gazebo, and she recommended we check out one of the most interactive pieces.
Have you tried out the Komodo dragons for music?
Oh, no. We'll go over there and play them a little bit.
When
Yeah.
you go over there, it's like right on the other side of the Forever Tron. There's 5 dragons, and they look like big snakes. They have like oxygen tanks cut at different heights.
Yeah.
You can play the whole dragon. Like tools are on the ground inside these rusty milk crates.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go do that. Well, enjoy the rest of your Mother's
So
Day
nice
and
meeting
your
you.
visit.
Thank you.
Made it my best one, please.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. We'll have to go
I
over
am
there
so
later
now
and look at the
excited
babies.
every time we drive around.
Yeah.
We'll slow down.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistant's assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
My cat Freddie loves to be brushed and cuddled. But stirring up his cat allergens meant sneezing and itchy eyes. Then I found Purina One Live Clear. It's cat food that reduced the major allergen and my suffering in as little as 21 days. Now, we feel closer than ever. If you have issues with cat allergens, you really need to try Purina One Live Clear.
Try new Purina One Live Clear today. Purina One, a difference from day one.
Oh my God, it's bringing up all the feels. It's so sweet and sounded so fun. Jade.
Yeah. Honestly, the star of the show obviously was this mama squirrel and her 4 or more babies. It was pretty exciting. I think that there's I read the mission of Dr. Evermor Sculpture Park in the beginning of that piece, and I think that it so embodies what I experienced, just this moment to imagine the world outside of what I hold as my unchallenged perceptions, right? I really enjoyed watching sort of nature engage with these rusty pieces of art that have been around for 40, 50 years. And yeah, it was truly just lovely. And I went on Mother's Day, and so there was lots of families around who were enjoying the space together, of all different ages and different groups. And I just felt like, I don't know, it was a really special moment to just walk around and appreciate what someone else made.
I love that you went on Mother's Day and got to see the families, because it's your kids, bring your kids to this, right?
Yeah.
Also, the fact that all of this metal, it was something I think when he was a young child, his apparently family focused on collecting scraps for the war effort. And that kind of influenced his life. And I don't know about you, but it's just I want to be an adult who also still is connected to their inner child and being alive and not growing old and boring. I don't want that. I want to feel the childhood joy and still have wonder. And I feel like that place is just so full of imagination.
Yeah, and that you can create things that are otherworldly at any point,
Heck yeah. Well, let's get into the logistics, Jade. So you said you're focusing on day trips. So how long did this take for you to get to Dr. Evermor Sculpture Park in Sauk County? How far is it?
Yeah, so I'm doing all of my distance from the capital, right? I'm going to pretend that that's the heart of Madison. It's about 40 miles from downtown Madison, which is like less than an hour, and it's a gorgeous drive. I mean, you know this, Bianca. This is your
best.
home, but it's beautiful, and especially at the time of year, where everything's just like bright green, gorgeous drive, and
Highway 12 for the win.
Highway 12 for the win. I always get so surprised when Highway 12 just like turns into the Beltline.
Yeah, so it's like it's not cute anymore.
You're like, wait, I was just driving like on a country road.
Yeah, it's like, okay, we're home, we get it. So it's not that far, just 40 miles, like you said, less than an hour. How much, what's the cost?
This is the best part about it, Bianca. It's free. No dollars.
Free 99. Can't get better than that.
You can't get better than that. That automatically ranks something pretty high when it's free.
And how long do you recommend folks stay? Like, how much time should we budget if we go?
Yeah, I was there for about an hour and it was perfect. I could kind of see that if it was a little bit busier than when I went, maybe you would stay a little bit longer so you can sort of have some more private time with the different pieces, or, space yourself out with the other guests. But I think an hour and a half, maybe probably 2 hours max if you packed a picnic. But, right around there. An hour to get there, an hour, 2 hours to stay, and an hour back.
All right. So you still can have time to get some chores done in the night.
Whatever
you gotta
out,
fit in. Yeah, this is doable. This is accessible.
I would also note that the hours are a little bit weird. So they're only open from 11 to 5, and that's Thursday through Monday. So they're closed on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So, it's not really something that you would necessarily go and do first thing in the morning or, at sunset. It's very much something that you're going to during the daytime, and then they do close for a season in the winter. So it's definitely like spring, summer, fall, in that 11 to 5 window.
That makes sense because you don't, some of it's going to be covered up by snow. Also, I love the 11 a.m. start. That's like very artist, creative. It's like, well, we're going to start at 11. Okay. Y'all do what you need. But so who would enjoy this? Like, obviously, we talked about kids. That's like when I went in elementary school. Like, who would like this? Who should go?
Yeah, so truly anyone, I would say. This is like a really, you could go by yourself and have a great time. They allow leashed dogs, so you could, go with your dog and enjoy your time. You could go on a date and have a wonderful time.
You took your husband.
Wonderful time. Yeah, I took my husband. Yeah, I did take my husband. It was fun. This is actually the second time I've been. The first time was right after we got engaged. So it was a good little engagement.
You guys are so cute.
I know. Also, it's great for the whole family. I think if you had family visiting you and you wanted to get out of the city for a little bit, it's a great place to take people. And they did note that there is no running and climbing, simply for safety reasons. I mean, you're not.
It's metal.
It's metal.
It's
yeah.
rusty.
You're going to want to be up to date on your tetanus shot for sure. Yeah. But so if you have kids who are going to have a hard time with that rule, maybe it's not the exact space for them. But otherwise, it's truly a great spot for anyone.
Yeah, and let's talk about accessibility. Like, how's the terrain for folks who might have mobility challenges? Like, is a wheelchair accessible? What's that like?
Yeah, so the paths are definitely flat, but as you could hear in the story, it's gravel. And so I would say if you're using a wheelchair or a mobility device, you might have a little bit of an issue. But if you had, fat tires, something that is made for that, I think you could really enjoy it still. Someone could easily use a wheelchair with fat tires. And there's also plenty of spots to just stop and look around. So even if you only made it into the entrance of the park, I think you'd still have a great time just sort of examining the Forevertron from a seated spot.
And that's the centerpiece. So I do feel like you got a good, landscape image there. So let's get right to it, Jade. What's the verdict? Would you recommend this day trip? Is it worth the hype?
Absolutely, I'd recommend this. It's a 10 out of 10. 110%, I would recommend this. Maybe that extra 10% comes from the mama squirrel and her babies, but still 100% would recommend this. I think it is rightfully hyped. I think people who know about it and will talk about it, and I think it's deserved. It is certainly a place of whimsy, and it's gorgeous, and it's a fun day. We went on Mother's Day weekend, and it was a beautiful weather. I could see that if the weather wasn't as like pristine, maybe it would be a little less exciting. But I'm also someone who like enjoys a rainy, gloomy day. So
you can have different vibes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's a little weather dependent, I would say. It is all outdoors, right? There's nothing inside. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend it on a rainy day if you're not down to get wet. I would also say that Memorial Day weekend is right around the corner. So this is a great day trip for anyone who's looking for a little adventure during the long weekend. That's free, right? I'm going to really hammer down. It's free. That bumps it up a couple % for sure.
I love that they keep it that way. I mean, it's really for the people. Is there anything that you would do differently, that you learned in this experience?
Yes, there's definitely some things that I would have done differently. I wore my Birkenstock knockoffs, and that was a bad decision. Really, I would recommend closed-toed shoes. My feet were just filthy after the end of walking around. So closed-toe shoes, probably like decent walking shoes, I would say. It's like we mentioned, it's gravel, so you want to have something that's going to support your ankle so you don't twist an ankle. I wish I would have had binoculars. There was a lot of like birds that I could hear, but not birds that I could see. So,
that area is actually like the very like lush habitat for birds, like that, like over by the Badger ammunition plant, like right in that area. I've gone bird watching to that area, not at the, Evermor, but I love that you're saying this. So bring your binoculars.
Yeah, bring your binoculars. I feel like it would be nice to see birds, but also there's like parts of the sculptures that you can't necessarily see fully from where you're standing. It'd be nice to be able to see the intricate details also of the sculptures.
A true art appreciator.
I didn't have enough sunscreen on. There's lots of shade, but there's also really sunny spots. So make sure you're leveled up on your sunscreen. And then I think I would have enjoyed having a picnic. I didn't have a picnic, but I think it'd be nice to sit and enjoy, a little meat and cheese or something.
Yeah.
And I also will say that if you happen to go and you happen to see some people in the gazebo selling some art pieces, say hey. It's a high likelihood that it is Lady Eleanor and Twaya, Dr. Evermor's family, and they're really lovely people. And just big shout out to them. They were really gracious and lovely. And also huge shout out to the squirrel mom and her squirrel babies.
She will live in infamy.
Yeah.
She's famous.
She's famous. Famous in my heart, for sure.
Yes, I love this so much. So what's next? Do you have any more day trips planned on the horizon?
I do.
Love it.
But I do need some help. So if you have any ideas for summer day trips, please send me your ideas. You could email us at madison@citycast.fm or leave a voicemail at 608-318-3367. Looking for like summer ideas, early fall ideas, anywhere that you're like, this is about 2 hours from Madison and it's the ideal day trip. Let me know.
You let Jay know, okay? Write in, leave us a voicemail. Jay, thank you so much for going and having this adventure and bringing back the details. I feel like I'm living vicariously, and now I know where I want to go next.
Thanks, Bianca.
That's Jade Isiri Ramos, CityCast Madison producer. To echo her call, where should we send Jade next? Let us know. Leave us a voicemail at 608-318-3367 or email us at madison@citycast.fm. And go check out our website at madison.citycast.fm for Jade's write-up all about her trip in the Madison Minutes newsletter. She's got pictures, y'all. That's all for today, here on CityCast Madison. I'm Bianca Martin, your host. If you enjoyed today's show, why not share this podcast with someone who loves quirky adventures? All right, see you back here tomorrow morning with more stories from around the city. Until then, take good care.